It's Saturday morning and I'm a week behind because I was in Texas last week, so I didn't really make a video. I just made a bunch of shorts. This weekend, actually, we're going to try to rebuild this transmission, and we're going to start with tail housing. But I'm not sure if this is going to work because kit is from Gearbox, the Gearbox. The kit comes with a T5 for a Mustang, not for a GM. So we're going to pull this out. I'm going to check the bushing, see if it's the same. I haven't rebuilt one of these in over 20 years. So yeah, you're going to go on the journey with me on this. So that's the first thing we're going to do. Then after that, we're going to rebuild the shifter. Then after that, we're going to start on the actual transmission. The parts, these are all your little small parts that go inside the gears that hold the synchros. It's got all the O-rings. It's got all the clips that you need, all brand new. These are the carbon fiber synchros. This is your 5th gear, and all new bearings. Now they're not Timken, but they're from Japan. Well, I can't Koito. I don't know. Anyways, so other than that, this is basically your basic rebuild kit for it. Now mine is a 4-cylinder transmission, so the bearing, the front bearing, is going to be different because it's got a whole different size for it. Now I understand that they're the weaker ones, but I want the gear spread. But it's going in a Slant 6, so who cares? Now it's been a while since I've done with these T5s, but I'm pretty sure that this goes on the oil hole. I know that on the T5 for the Mustang, it's like at the 5 o'clock position, and I think that's because the transmission is slightly canted. It's kicked over, so I'm just putting it there because there's no other oil holes on this thing. So what I do is I put it just below the recess right there, and then I take my output shaft and make sure that it goes in there good. It's nice and good, and then we're going to put seal on. I lost a little bit of footage. I hit play, it didn't record, so is what it is. I'm not taking this back apart, but essentially this is where it's at. I tighten these up just enough to take the slack out of it, and then what I do is when it's in the transmission and I'm setting it up, I tend to tighten up, this is this side right here, tend to tighten up this one a little bit more. You can see how I have that right now. So that way when you go first, second, and then when you go to third, it puts a little bit more tension. So that way you just push the shifter forward to go into third, and this one, it allows it to go right in. But anyways, this is a rebuilt, cheap, better than 300 bucks, freebie sometime. There was a short, I'll attach it somewhere, or you could just go and look for it. I got the bushing in, and now we're going to start doing the transmission. Now, I'm not going to go through a step-by-step on how to rebuild this thing. There's plenty of videos on there. You can find them somewhere else. Anyway, so this is number 1, 2, 3, and this is the 4 synchro here. They don't look terrible, but they don't look great. What I typically do is I look for the gap. See how there's a gap right there? This is the 2, the 2nd gear gap. And see it's not touching. It's still got a little bit of play. That one's still got a little bit on it. So it's in decent shape. And this right here is the number 5 right down there. It's in decent shape, but I'm going to be taking this thing all apart. I mean, if I'm going to be putting this in the car, I might as well just rebuild it. I'm also just kind of looking at the gears. I mean, there's some wear on them, but I don't see any chips or anything, so it looks pretty decent. That's reverse right there, and they all look decent enough. So this one right here looks pretty good. So I'm going to take this apart. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pop this pin out, take 5th gear off here. That way I can pull out the main shaft here before I get to the counter shaft. So the main shaft's out. I'm just laying stuff in. That's the 5th gear over there, assembly. Got it off of here. But this is what you're listening for. This right here, I'm going to be replacing this because these things always go bad. But if you hear this, I mean, it spins good, but man, you want to have a little drag on it. But listen to that. Nuts, no bueno. No bueno. So, and then also too, look at trash down there. So that's, it's time. So we're going to take this thing fully apart here. The next big thing is going to be taking this off. Then I got to pull this bearing. I'm going to take this oil slinger off. I'm going to pull this bearing out here. It's got to be pressed off to get this intermediate shaft, I'm sorry, the secondary shaft out of here. I think it's called the counter shaft or whatever. Anyways, that comes out. Then we're going to clean this thing up as best we can and move on from there. Getting this bearing off here, because you got to get this bearing to get this shaft out. I've always found it easier to use one of these as a bearing puller on them than to put it in the actual press over there. It's just much easier. I can control it a little easier, and plus these aren't crazy on there, and I can get underneath there. Plus I wanted to preserve this because I'm going to cut this apart and I'm going to hone out this inside, because I'm going to use this to press on the bearing when I press it on there, so that way it I know it goes on straight. And because these are great, these are what you really need to press the new ones on. So I just hone them out slightly and go from there. So good to have that around. Next thing we got to do is take this out here. And if you look in here, it's pretty empty in there, just a bunch of crap in there. So we're going to clean all this out. What I like to do, everyone has a different way. I like to use something that's aluminum, so in case I miss, I'm just hitting on that and just hammer on that thing, and it presses it through. A lot of people who see hitting that with a hammer, you can do that. In case you miss though, this is harder than that, puts a dent. At least they're the same thing, aluminum here. I'm going to hammer on that and press that thing out, or just hammer it out. So I decided to take it all apart. There's so much crap in there. I'm going to pressure wash this thing and get it as clean as I can, but it's pretty bad. So, yep, that's the plan. My goal is to have this thing rebuilt this weekend, so is what it is. I'm going to see if I can break these things loose too. This one here, I've had trouble getting these out in the past. I'm just going to leave that in since I can put it all back together with that thing still there. It's I've had those things stick and then break them and strip them out and whatever. I'm just going to leave it. So everything's apart. One thing I always check out is I check out this little ridge. There's a little bit of a ridge there. Now you can replace these gears, but what I do is I just polish them up so you can see how well and polished that is right there on the edges. Just takes a little bit of time. Don't hit it hard. I just get a nice polishing wheel here and I just polish it up there on the edges, so that way there's nothing there and it's nice and smooth, and that way it engages. I'm going to do the same thing on this. This has got a little edge right at the edge right there. So then I come around on the inside here and I just kind of get that little bit of lip off right there. I do the exact same thing, but on this side, on the inside here. Then I'm going to do the same thing to third and fourth, and then I'm going to check fifth. But usually it's 1 and 2 that are the worst on these. Absolutely. 3 and 4, not so much, but 1 and 2 always is. We've polished everything, and we're starting to stack the main shaft. I'm hoping to stack this thing, get it all clipped in, and then I still got to change the front bearing on that thing. And then we're going to start putting this thing back in, and it'll be done. But some of these things are really badass. These are the carbon style. Let's get these here. These are the carbon style synchros. So, I mean, these things are going to last forever, or at least as long as I own this thing. It should be fine for a very long time for as amount of powers, as little powers that cars got compared to what this thing can handle. So, yep. All right. We're going to just keep moving. So the main shaft is all put together. Everything's in there. Everything's done. Had a little issue with making things fit. It's just it's a little grumpy, but it's together. Now I'm going to move on to the case. I forgot how shitty this bearing is to take off, but if you just take the cage off, get your splitter, and then you can grab the lip on the inside there, and then it just comes right off. So yeah, so cut the cage off, grab it, and then it just pulls right off. Yeah, I was sitting here trying to do something else, but that's the fastest way. So looks like they had a little bit of engine oil in there instead of ATF. So yeah, that's that. All right, we're going to be moving on. By the way, I put that already in there, and I'm going to put this on there, and I'm getting ready to put this shaft in there, and I'm going to put the reverse in there. And today's the end of Saturday. I might be done for the day. In fact, I got to make a short. So I'm still on that 30 days. 30 days or 30 shorts. So yeah, that's what we got. All right, so I got for you fifth gear support on there. You just want to get rid of this one. This thing had so much slack in it as far as that goes. Now the bearing, that's the right amount of drag. Just slowly comes brand new bearings. So factory on this was 114 thousandths as far as the spacer. I actually had to go to 111 to get this drag on it. Just this right amount of drag right there. That's exactly what you're looking for. Something that doesn't keep spinning, but just slowly comes to a stop, just like that. Well, we ran into our very first problem, and it was just me. I just overlooked something. So this is the shaft that I had already assembled and was getting ready to put in there. And I was just doing the last little final cleanup on it. Then I noticed this little mark right there. Now, I knew this transmission had been rebuilt at one point. So you can see it right there. So, I mean, it doesn't stick up, but it's definitely there. Not sure what it is. I mean, it could have been someone put some vice grips on it or something, or they were prying on it right there to pop it out. I don't know, but it's not in the groove, so I don't know what it is. Anywho, I do have another shaft. In fact, I've got, this is why whenever you do one of these transmissions, I got one extra one here. I got another extra one there. I got a bunch of tops, and this is usually what it takes. Now that one's the exact same one as that one. That's in there. That's out of a 4-cylinder turbo coupe. This one happens to be out of a Ford Ranger of some sort. It's got a different gear ratio, but it's a slightly different case. But the shaft is identical, so I'm not worried about that. I'm stacking the gears, but this one had an issue. I already threw it away. In fact, I was going to take it back out. But if you look here, somebody missed third. They missed third pretty good. So I got the shaft in. I got the bearing here. Here's fifth gear. Is I tend to polish these right there really good as far as the teeth go. And then on this one here as well too, as I polish these really good. So that way there's no high points, there's no edge. I polish them up so that way when this goes on there, there's no catch, because this had a slight catch on it before. They all will at some point, because these are used gears. So I polish those up good, polish that up good. Now I'm getting ready to put fifth gear on here. All right. While I'm working on this, somebody asked a question about what do I use for assembling these. I use this stuff, and the reason for it is this. Is that if you read this line right here, it says dissolves in lubricating oil during engine operation or any type of transmission operation, because transmission fluid, which this runs, has a high detergent in it. If you use grease, it's not going to dissolve. It literally will plug up things. So that's why I use this. I mean, you can use any of your, whatever you want to use, Lucas oil or whatever, as long as it dissolves. Don't use the high tack or don't use anything. That's what I use because it's cheap. You can get it at any O'Reilly's, and it works just fine. So, yep, that's what I use. And you can see right there. I'll put it on there, and that's all it takes. This is where we run into some issues. This is a 4-cylinder input shaft, and this whole setup's a 4-cylinder. This is what comes in the kit. Obviously, you can see no worky. So you got to take the one off. Now, the Timken number that was on here before is an M88048, and then it's an M88010. Now, if I remember correctly, this was a BR52, but you got to buy them separately now. So this is the only ones I could find locally. So these are in Thailand, which is better than China. China, but it's better than what? So, anyways, just know that if you're going to do the 4-cylinder one, these are the two that you're going to need to go onto that. So I'm just going to 1000 grit sandpaper some stuff, and we're going to move on from there. Here's another little tip that I've learned along the way. Get one of these types of yokes that's got this little clip in the back of it. Always, look, no silicone, or any type of sealing. I'm telling you right now, I've had nothing but bad luck with these things. They will always leak, every single one. And it'll be a mystery leak that you'll never find. You'll think it's over here. You'll think it's the tail shaft seal. You'll think whatever. It's coming from here. So I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to put a little bit of silicone in here, some right stuff, and then I'm going to glue this thing in. This way this thing doesn't leak. Quick little tip. So it's together. And I've got 1, 2, 3, and 4. Too hard for me to get fifth like this, but I've already checked fifth and reverse because you got to push over quite a bit to get over there. Let's see if I can do it. Yeah, I can't get it because I got to go over and up. So anyways, but yeah, I just checked it. I'm happy with it. This is a new, now this is not for the Mustang, this is for the Ford only. I'm sorry, for the Ford 4-cylinder only style because it's got a whole different bearing on it. But I'm happy with everything, the way it all came out. And I'm not running a NSS, a neutral safety switch, on this one because this S10 shaft didn't have the groove that was cut into it. But this was the best top that I had, so I put a plug in it. And I'm going to run a clutch, so that way I have to push the clutch in to get it to reverse. And this thing here does work too. I just put an ohm on this for reverse, so I'll have reverse lights. So I hooked all that up too. So I'm happy with it, and I'm ready to shove this thing in and get it going. I don't have this sealed up or this sealed up as of right now because I'm still waiting on the gear that's going to go here because it's an S10. It's in a different spot. So this is just all mock-up right now. This needs to be glued. This needs to be glued. But I just wanted to make sure everything worked. And there it is. I'm happy with it. Now today's Sunday afternoon. I'm done. I'm not going to do any more. Yeah, I'm going to make a little video. This will be right here. Will be a teaser video of what's to come, so to speak. So yeah, that's what we got.